Good morning, students. We use various things to meet our requirements or needs. The things or the materials that we use are known as resources. Some of these are for our basic needs like air, water, food, and clothes. Some things we use are to make our life comfortable, like vehicles, furniture, and machines. Among these, some are found in nature and some are man made. For example, we use books. Books are man made, but the raw material is obtained from bamboo, a natural resource. We use vehicles. These are man-made. But the metals required to make a vehicle are obtained from nature. So resources are classified either as natural resources or man-made resources. Before we go into the lesson, let us understand a simple activity. Assume there are 30 students in a class. Divide them into 3 groups, 1, 2, and 3 of 10 students each. Again, divide each group into 4 subgroups A, B, C, and D. Subgroup A will have 1 student, subgroup B will have 2 students, subgroup C will have 3, and subgroup 4 will have 4 students. Label these subgroups as generations. That means subgroup A, first generation, subgroup B, second generation, and so on. As population becomes more from generation to generation, the second, third, and the fourth generations, that is subgroup B, C, and D, are having more people. Now, I'll take a bowl full of eatables for each of the groups, for each of the 3 groups separately. Now, the consumers of the first generation should eat and pass it on to the second. The second generation should also eat and then pass on to the next generations. Will there be anything left for the third generation or fourth generation? This depends on how the first and the second generations have consumed the eatables. If they have consumed all without leaving anything for the next generations, then third and fourth will not be left with anything. But if they would have thought about the future generations and have used the eatables carefully, then the third and the fourth generations also will have something to eat. Assume these eatables as natural resources. Some resources are unlimited in quantity and are not exhausted by human use. Air, water, sunlight are inexhaustible. Some resources are limited in quantity and are likely to be exhausted by human use. Forests, wildlife, minerals, coal, petroleum, and natural gas. These are exhaustible. In this chapter, we are going to discuss about a few exhaustible natural resources like coal, petroleum, and natural gas. These exhaustible resources, coal, petroleum, and natural gas, are known as fossil fuels. The name fossil fuels has been given to them basing on their origin and use. They are known as fossils as they were formed from the dead remains of living organisms. Fuels as they give a lot of heat energy when burnt. Firstly, we will be learning about coal. It is a hard substance and is black in color. It is mainly used earlier days to cook food. It is also used in railway engines to produce steam and to run the engine. In thermal power plants, it is used to generate electricity. It is also used as a fuel in many industries. Now let us understand how coal has been formed. About 300 years ago, Earth had dense forests. These dense forests were in low-lying wetland areas known as swamps. Due to the natural processes like flooding or earthquake, these forests got buried under the soil. As more and more soil was deposited over them, they were compressed. The temperature and the pressure increased when they went deeper and deeper. Under high pressure and high temperature, the dead plants and animals got slowly converted into coal. This process of conversion of dead vegetation into coal is called carbonization. Now, let us learn about the types of coal. The uppermost layer will have peat. This type of coal will have 60% carbon. In between the sediment layers, we have lignite coal. It will have 60 to 70% carbon. Much below the sediment layers, it gets more compressed and we get bituminous coal. This will be of 70 to 80% carbon. The last layer underneath, we have anthracite, which is the best variety of coal. It has more than 90% of carbon. When coal burns in air, we get carbon dioxide gas. Because when it is burnt, it combines with the oxygen to form carbon dioxide gas. But when it is heated to a high temperature in the absence of air, it breaks to form some useful products. This process of breaking coal by heating to a high temperature in the absence of air is called destructive distillation of coal. The process of breaking coal by heating to a high temperature in the absence of air is called destructive distillation of coal. To understand this process, we have a simple activity in which two test tubes, boiling tubes A and B, and two delivery tubes C and D are taken. We also need a stand, a burner, and powdered coal. The apparatus has to be set up as shown in the diagram. Take powdered coal in the boiling tube A and heat with the help of the burner. We will observe the formation of dark brown vapors. These vapors escape into boiling tube B. The boiling tube B contains water. So the vapors, when they enter into water, they condense and get separated to form two layers. The top layer contains a clear liquid called ammoniacal liquor, and the lower layer contains a thick black liquid called coal tar. A colorless gas is also evolved. This gas is known as coal gas. It comes out of the delivery tube D. A black residue called coke is left in the boiling tube A. After heating, after it gets burnt, a residue will be left which is called coke. So we have 4 byproducts in all by burning coal: coke, coal tar, ammoniacal liquor, and coal gas. First, we will be learning about coke. Coke is a tough, porous, and black substance. It is the purest form of carbon, having almost about 98% of carbon. It is used in the manufacture of steel and also in the extraction of metals. The second product is coal tar. This is a black, thick liquid with an unpleasant smell. It will be a mixture of more than 200 substances. Coal tar is a mixture of more than 200 substances. These substances can be separated by a process called fractional distillation. And these substances are used as starting materials, as raw materials for manufacturing many things like dyes, drugs, explosives, paints, varnishes, perfumes, pesticides, plastics, synthetic fibers, naphthalene, and many more. There are many things that are made of these 200 substances obtained from coal tar. Actually, in earlier days, coal tar was used for metalling the roads, but these days it is replaced by a petroleum product known as bitumen. The next product obtained from burning coal is coal gas. This is used as a fuel in many industries which are near the coal processing plants. Initially, the coal gas was used for street lighting. For the first time, it was used for street lighting in 2 countries. In London in the year 1810 and in New York in the year 1820. These days, we use it as a source of heat rather than light. The last product that we get by burning coal in the absence of air is ammoniacal liquor. This is used as a raw material in the manufacturing of rubber, leather, plastics, electronics, paper industries, and it is also used in wastewater treatment. Many chemicals and pharmaceutical industries also use ammoniacal liquor as a raw material. So we have learned how coal is formed. What are the products that are obtained by burning coal in the absence of air, and the uses of the products obtained. The most important point about coal is it is a fossil fuel. and why it is known as a fossil fuel. Because it was formed from the dead remains of plants and animals, and it is a fuel because it produces a lot of heat energy. We have also seen the types of coal, among which anthracite is the best variety of coal. So, we have understood about coal. The next fossil fuel that we are going to learn is petroleum in our next module.